It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And today I am going to tackle this Mangave jaguar. This corner right here, we talked about what a hot mess it is, and I can't take it anymore. So this jaguar has done, it's the best possible problem you can have. I've got all these pups. It's just run amok. And when I put this in 2 years ago, jaguar was still a thing. Since then, there have been so many new introductions of Mangaves to the marketplace, and Hans from Walter's Garden sent me all those Mangaves, last year, and so I don't really want to grow this jaguar anyway. So I'm gonna take, look at this stuff. This is all these echeverias are growing underneath the jaguar, and it's actually looked really good once upon a time. I loved the way these echies were sticking their heads out from underneath, but now it's not cute anymore, guys, is it? So let's just tear in. And you're probably wondering, well, what's the plan? I don't know exactly what the plan is. And the way my brain works, for me, it doesn't really matter. I don't need to know what the plan is right now. It will come to me. What I need to do, though, is get rid of the offending landscape, and in which case this is this jaguar. So I'm going to start working this out. I'm not going to be particularly careful with it because, like I said, I'm not really married to it anyway. So we'll start by getting some of these pups out. Let's see. So many of you have been asking about our move. Remember that video that I did a while ago? Bye, Vista. We were going to move to Escondido. And then I talked about what happened in another video, but I didn't title it. So what happened was embedded in another video. So many of you are just really confused as to why we're still here. And so while I'm pulling out this Mangave, I'll spill the tea. Okay, so what happened was, we have 4 kids. We have a daughter-in-law, son-in-law. We have 3 grandkids, and the family, has grown and most likely will continue to grow as time passes. And where we love it here, we love Vista, we love this house, we, obviously love my garden. It's just a little cramped. It's a little small. It's difficult for all of us to come together here. We only have 3 bedrooms, and it's, we just wish we were in something bigger where everyone could spread out and it would be just, a lot more comfortable. Our family is extremely important to us. We love spending time together, and I hate it when, the kids have to get, like our out-of-town family has to get rooms at hotels, during the holidays and stuff, because there's not room here. So anywho, that's the impetus for us really wishing that we had a bigger place. As you know, we rent here. We own our home up in Northern California, but we rent here in San Diego. And getting a bigger home's all well and good, but it's pricey. So, in a perfect world, we'd have 5 bedrooms and a big pool and maybe a yard where we could put in a swing set and, have room for the kids to run around. So we just kind of were passively looking. We weren't really looking seriously, but lo and behold, we get this, I see this listing for this place. I'm going to try the regular shovel. I see a listing for this place in Escondido, which, for those of you who aren't local to San Diego, is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. It's in North County, San Diego. And it was so perfect, you guys. Like 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, huge bonus room, a pool with a rock slide, tons of room for the kids to run around. And it wasn't that much more than we're paying here. So we applied. Thought, well, you know what? Let's just see if we can get it. And we did. We filled out an application and jumped through all the hoops, and we got accepted. And we were told, congratulations. So we signed a lease. We paid all our deposits. I literally packed up the house, and we gave notice. I did this video, bye Vista. And then the next morning, Greg gets an email that our lease has been canceled. And we're like, WTF? What do you mean our lease has been canceled? What is this? So we finally get a hold of the rental company, and they're like, oh, we're so sorry, but the owners have decided to move back into the house. So the home is no longer available. And that was that. You know, I had stuff in boxes. We'd taken stuff off the walls. Greg had spackled. You know, we're ready to go. So I'm like, well, you know, what are you going to do? So that didn't end up working out. And where we still passively look, you know, we're not in any kind of, you know, mad rush or anything. And like I said, financially, you know, we can't justify spending $9,000 or $10,000 a month on a rental. As much as we'd love to have a big, beautiful home for all the kids, this is very lovely. And I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful, because I'm not. We're very happy, like I said. But this opportunity came up, and we thought, okay, let's take it. And it just didn't work out. So that's the story. I think probably the smartest thing to do would be to take that video, Goodbye Vista or Farewell Vista or whatever it is, down to avoid future confusion. Okay, I got it. All right. Well, the Echeverry Harmsii is coming with us. Okay, well, I talked about this Echeverry Harmsii the other day, that, you know, when it blooms out, it's really beautiful, but then it gets, you know, really leggy and weird, and I was going to show you what to do with it. So I don't have the time to really mess with this today. So what I'm going to do is just set the Harmsii aside, and let's see what else we got going on in here. All right. So I haven't touched this area in the 2 years we've been here, other than to just admire it, because I've always loved it. Okay, here's some sedum and a bunch of lemon tree leaves and detritus. It's always fun. And, you know, the question that you invariably will ask yourself is, well, how far do I go? You know, it's like going down a rabbit hole. You take out an offending plant, and then the next thing you know, you've got 50 offending plants. So you just step back and take a look and make as best a decision as you can. I'm going to take this out. This Harmsii, super leggy too. Pull that. Ooh, weeds around and in my barrel cactus. Get those. Small one right here. Oh, that's very satisfying. Okay. A lot of times I'll take off, you know, my larger rubble or larger top dressing, kind of, you know, shake it up, pick out all the leaves, shake up the 3/8 a little bit, and then pop them back on, because they can often sink down into the ground over time too. So it just makes it look fresh. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty. Greg, with his big fingers, hit a button and turned the camera off. So I was saying that I have to decide how far back I want to go here. So, all right. I think that's good. Can you see here, Greg? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that background. There's still some cleaning up to do. You know, kind of meticulous cleanup to do, but I'll do that later. I'm not going to bore you with watching me pick out every leaf off the ground. I know I'm triggering a lot of you, and it's your worst nightmare anyway, all the detritus cleaning. So, any rate, here we are. Now I've got this. I've got decisions to make. Do I put, Mama Mangave back, or do I do something else there? What do I do? And my decision, and it's what I had planned on doing, but I wasn't sure, until I saw it. I have these Mangave redwing cuttings that I got from our Sunset Cliffs job. Like, these have been sitting out in the shade under that big bush in the front yard for literally months. You can see it's trying to root. That's old, but that's new. These have just been sitting there. Redwing is one of my favorites. It's spectacular. So they look kind of a hot mess right now because, like I said, they've been sitting as cuttings for months on the ground. But I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to encourage this instead of the jaguar. The redwing is prettier, and in a perfect world I'd have a bigger one. It would just be a single. I'm not sure how happy I'm going to be with these as multis as they grow out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see, won't we, guys? So this soil's nice and soft. I'm going to dig down just far enough so that my Mangave cuttings stand up. And I'm also thinking about placement because I know that this is going to get big, and I don't want it to, I don't want to overshoot the patio too far. But then at the same time, I don't want to crowd, this too much either. So, oh my gosh, I could just go for days here with the cleanup. Okay, dig this out. Let's pop in our cuttings. I am not going to water these. They have been surviving literally for months without it. And the soil here is not dry, but it's like barely moist. So I'm just going to let that ride. This barrel cactus doesn't need any water. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help myself. The most satisfying thing in the world is like popping blackheads. Clean all of the spent seed pods off of barrel cactus, and see inside, those are little baby barrel cactus seeds. For those of you that are really, really patient and motivated, you can take those little seeds and plant them in a little bit of shallow soil, put them in the shade, spritz them, and you will get baby barrel cactus. I've heard that these are pretty easy to propagate from or grow out from seed. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm doing. And now what I'm gonna do, I got my primary plants in. So now I'm gonna do a little resetting of some of my rock that I took out. And I'm gonna see if I've got anything good that I can put back. Like, these are actually really lovely, aren't they? I'll just clean up all of the dead. I don't know how lovely they're going to be when I finish cleaning all the dead off, but let's see. I can put these back in as cuttings, but it is July and we have a couple of really hot months ahead of us here, so they are not going to love me for that if I do that. They probably won't die, but they won't look great. I'd really prefer to plant them with their roots attached. Well, that one broke, but there's still there's a little bit of air root on that, so that's not nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna plant these right here at the base of this redwing, just so this looks a little more designed and a little more intentional. There we go. I have to say, it is kind of nice to to be able to relax in this position out in the garden, because normally when I would get down like this, Bentley would take that as an invitation to hump me. So didn't love that. I can do this now. I don't have to worry about getting humped. Greg might hump me, but he's holding the camera. So not known as a multitasker, are you, lover? Okay. All right. Do I want to put anything else in here? I have, what have I got? I'm definitely not putting jaguars back. These etchies, harmsy eyes that are getting ready to bloom out aren't really of any use to me right now. There are these cute little sedums, which I guess I can pop back in. Why not? I'll take these. I'm limbing up the bottom leaves just so I've got something to stick in the ground. And those little cuties I'll just pop in right here like so. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I think I have some chamois beige around the side. That's what this top dressing is. It's 3/8 inch chamois beige. And grab some of that and do some top dressing. And then I will take some time to clean up the rest of the detritus and, you know, just the leaves, and just tidy this up just a skosh more. And then when you see me next time, I will show you the finished product. But this is basically what I'm doing. Now I've got some really cool redwings growing in my garden. And as a follow-up on yesterday's video, where we planted that cool euphorbia in the pot and took out the trigona, more input from you on how to mix your soil if you live in Houston or you're concerned with a lot of heavy rains, especially in the summertime. You know, these plants don't love that. And y'all said probably not with the playground sand, which is what I used. If you're going to use sand, it should be more coarse, because the whole idea is to create air pockets in the soil so that, you know, the soil will dry out more. So pumice, everybody agrees on pumice as being a really good thing to supplement your soils with. So be sure and read the comments on yesterday's video. There were some really, really good suggestions, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. And now I will, this jaguar, I'm going to put around to the side. It'll get worked into a project. I'll clean up all of this detritus. I'll throw down some chamois beige. I might, you know, tighten this up just a little bit more. This is looking really leggy. I've even got another, I think this is the Moon Glow Mangave, which does not offend me. It's small, but you can't really see it because of all of this happening in here. So that might get tightened up just a little bit. At some point, I'm going to need to redo this pot. It isn't looking great. But do you see what happens, right, when you start to do one simple little thing, and before you know it, 8 hours have passed and your whole garden's redone? That's the fun. That's the fun. So, love you guys. Thanks so much for being here today and for your wonderful comments, for liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos with your other garden-loving friends. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.